Welcome to our channel Typebook. We are Chris and Rose, INTJ and INFJ, and we are cataloging a variety of people based on their Jungian psychological type and their MBTI four-letter abbreviation. Today we are taking a look at Ed Sheeran. Chris, what does consensus say his type is?
They say ISFJ by a long shot, followed by INFP and then ISFP last. But obviously we disagree. We think ISTP, so we're going to use this video footage to prompt us intuitively to tell you why.
He's talking to an ENFP, John Mayer, whom we've also typed, so there's a typing video in the ENFP mail playlist if you'd like to check that out. And they're talking about their love of collecting watches. They're going to be talking about the differences between watch collectors and how there's two types of collectors. That's how John Mayer sees it anyway.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
The way is to look at it and ask yourself, do I like it? The second way, and I think is the more popular way, unfortunately, is to look at it and then to sort of consult the larger cultural weather report
Okay,
on
let's
the
start.
watch. Well, what is
Like immediately, from John Mayer, you get bish, bash, bosh, bish, bash, bosh, TE.
Right.
Telling you all his thoughts, he's extroverting like mad. And I'm bringing this up because Ed Sheeran is not TE. So look out for it when he starts talking. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
does the world think of that? And then what would that mean for me? And what makes you such a great collector, and I think a great artist in person, is you look at something and your relationship is between you and that thing. And you really are so good about not contaminating your point of view on something when you look at it. And I would argue, like, a true watch nerd would say that, mechanically speaking, a Hublot's a great watch.
I've never had that serviced, and I've had that
Yeah.
12 years, and it works exactly the same as when I got it. And I've really worn that. I've really battered that. And I find that also, like, what's cool, what's the Grandpa Simpson thing, where he was like, I used to be it, and then they changed what it was,
Yes.
and now I don't know what it is.
Yes.
And, like, I find, like, I've never been cool. I've always been a little bit odd, and I just like what I like, and I don't know, sometimes it goes in fashion, sometimes it goes out of fashion.
Can I say something? You've just defined, to me, what cool is.
Well,
I mean, and I can say this about my own
I agree.
career being so far down the line now. If you've never been cool, you've kind of always been cool.
yeah.
And I know that sounds like a little pat, but if you've never registered
Okay, stop.
with the cool,
I find it interesting that John Mayer is seeing Ed Sheeran's NI. That's what I think's happening here. Actually, he's seeing his SENI
Yes,
because he has a similar thing going on with him, right? Like,
with any SI.
exactly.
It's the
So
opposite.
he's seeing they're going to find some common ground in this, even though it's opposite functions. It's still intuition and sensing.
Well, yeah, they're doing the same thing. That's the crucial thing to note. They
Yes.
are liking watches, and they think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's their thing. They're doing it differently, but they can see and appreciate the alternative way of doing it. Ed Sheeran, just off the face of it, he seems a bit more sentimental about his things, and he's kind of more lazy in it. He hasn't serviced it, he's just got it and he enjoys it, and it's a thing and it's on his wrist. It's more physical, it seems, to him. John Mayer seems a bit more conceptual in watches. He seems more obsessive about the particulars, how it works and things. I could be wrong. We will continue to watch, but yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
cool tribunal of any one year or month.
Because it all goes out of fashion.
It all goes
all
out.
of it.
And this is what makes. This is why I just love your brain so much. When you got this, did then you feel like you had arrived? Now you have a mechanical watch. This should be it, or did this just break
actually,
open?
the second watch I bought actually was a rose gold Big Bang. So it was this one, and then it was a rose gold Big Bang, and then it was that one, and this was more like I needed something subtle that like a rose gold Big Bang
Right.
as your one and only watch going
Right.
anywhere. It stands out like, I mean, it's a gold watch. So I wanted something more subtle. So this became that. And yeah, after that, I don't know, once you've got 2 mechanical watches, you're sort of then looking into stuff and what's next. And
Yes.
I got a Volcano Audemars, and that was like the next one. And then
That's the orange.
yeah, but I sent it.
Yeah.
I got it, and then I was like, I kind of want this to be black and orange. So I sent it to a company and got it matte blacked. And so, yeah, I don't know why.
But well, I know why, and that will carry on all the way up until the watch we look at later on, which is a piece unique from AP, which I think has the same thought process behind it as you saying, I want that to look different. And that makes you an artist. You look and you go, wish it had this and that and that. Not in a way where most people sort of go to message boards or post message board now, but Instagram comments and start saying it should be this and that. You really look at it and go, I don't care what it does to the value of the watch. I would appreciate it more if it looked X.
Okay,
Y,
let's
Yeah,
stop.
and I mean,
And that is SE.
Oh, SENI as well, I think. Because I feel something in common here with him.
Yes, me as well.
It's almost like taking the bones of a thing and knowing how you can gild the lily or make it better, make it more refined, make it more beautiful. So Ed Sheeran is kind of taking something which he knows is good, but then he's adding another layer to it.
Yes. I mean, it's hard to separate functions. You could argue.
Yeah, of
that
course.
This is FE
Right.
too, and say,
Yeah,
oh, well,
exactly.
he's feeling it, for
Right.
him. He wants to make it personal to him, his watch, bespoke, whatever. But there's certainly something with SE people and having an eye for style and color and things like this. We like to play around with that kind of thing.
Well, we talk about this with ISFP as well. Like they can take things in their environment and really arrange them in such a way. So they're working, in other words, we're working with things in our environment, playing with them, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like high SE people, they arrange things very aesthetically with that third NI as well. They play with those 2 functions in that way to arrange things that are really stylistically cool, in my opinion.
Yes, because I think the high SE people that don't have NI, they arrange things in a way that you would expect. So in other words, I've seen ESFPs arrange things by color.
Yes.
So everything's definitely, grouped by color. Or, I have a nephew who has arranged his collections of things very, specifically, like this is all the same size. This all goes here, There's not really an artistic element to how he arranges things. It's more how it's similar.
Yes.
So,
and that could be SE,
Yes.
TE.
right,
Yeah, I think-
exactly, right, yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I've done that with, I developed a close relationship with George Bamford like maybe 10 years ago. I quite like the customization side of things.
Would you still do that now with a Patek, knowing sort of what they're? Yeah, you would still take
Totally,
something
yeah.
and
If I'm going to wear it, yeah, I had an it's a bracelet version of the 5726 that is just
the annual calendar.
just black. It's
Nautilus,
just
yeah.
black, and I get it with its face changed for every album. So
Okay,
I
stop.
get George does.
So I want to comment a little bit about the TETI thing, because it can be quite confusing in this instance. So like John Mayer, for instance, he's extremely forward, like he's not really afraid to interrupt. He says it how it is. He's very direct. Ed is different in that he does have the same quickness almost, but he is a bit more reserved, perhaps. I think this is where perhaps they are thinking ISFJ, because he's quite naturally shy and hesitant, which ISTPs definitely can be.
Mm-hmm.
But he has the quickness. Like he is lightning quick, just as fast as John Mayer, really. being a TE user because he's a TI dominant. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Me like a yellow one for subtract that I can then swap out with a red one for equals, and it's just something that I just swap in and out. I feel like I've got watches that are respectful to being a watch collector and being like, these are the classics, but also like sometimes you want to spray paint your car.
Yeah.
You know?
We've skipped ahead just a little bit, so.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Even though it is a like really, it's a piece unique.
That's what's interesting about it. Tell people about what's unique about this world time.
So this, I think, I'm going to say this a few times about watches, about like what's my favorite watch or not, but this I think is the coolest watch that I own. I got a couple of piece uniques through Patek, and I thought that this would be too much of an ask because I didn't know how they were with like real estate on world times. Mm-hmm. My hometown is called Framlingham. There's about 2,000 people that live there. I grew up there. It's what the song Castle on the Hill is about. And it's just a tiny town. There's not much that goes on there. We've got a kebab shop. We've got like one cafe. We've got, you know, a couple of pubs, but it's not like Singapore going on there or Doha or whatever. So I asked if they could replace London with Framlingham because that's my home. Mm-hmm. And wherever I was in the world, I could click it round and I could always see what the time was in Framlingham, basically. And so this one would fly under the radar more.
Yeah, and means so much too.
I can't imagine this popping up on...
There's only 1,999 other people who have any interest in that watch. It's a very limited demographic.
Yeah, it's also like, it's a place where people go to retire as well, so yeah.
And you still live there? You still have a place?
Yeah, I live like in the area nearby, but that's where my wife's from. That's where we went to high school together. That's where, I mean, I've lived... that's the only place I've really like lived properly. I bought a place there in 2012, and yeah, it's my home.
Give me the use case
right,
for when you would put that watch on.
What? He's sentimental? And he's not SI?
Sentimentality comes in different ways.
Right. And you can be sentimental no matter what type you are.
Yeah, you could tell John gets it as well, in an FI way. I think people make the mistake a lot of saying, well, sentimentality is this. But, you know, realistically, we can all be sentimental. It's just for what? And what does it mean? And the sort of motivations and causes of it, really.
Thank you for sticking with us this far into the video. If you like what we're doing here, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share this video, as this way of supporting us helps us grow our project at no cost to you. Also, don't forget to check out our playlists, where we have all our recorded videos organized by type. We have an extensive catalog, so have fun using the search bar to look for your favorite public figures.
Before we get back to the video, please take a minute to leave us a comment. What do you think about this type? Does this person remind you of someone? Do you have experience with this type? Feel free to leave your type requests in the comments too. The more requests for a particular person we get, the sooner we will get to typing them.
Thank you for all your support. It means so very much to us. Okay, so we've switched to another interview.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
I was somewhere and I was like, oh, sorry, I can't do it. But let me know if there's anything else that you want me to do. And he was like, yeah, come and launch my merch. But let's do it. Yeah, he did one with Grealish. I think he wants to do it somewhere else. And I was like, we should take a picture in front of Edmonton Green Station. I mean, that would be the viral moment. So yeah, I went there, and man, like within 5 minutes, there was probably like 6 of us. There was me, my security guard Kev, and Jamal, and then Tion and maybe two mates. And then like within 5 minutes, it was just like
swarmed.
Yeah.
It was so awesome to see. Sick. We thought then, though, like what? Now we've seen you in Edmonton. When are you taking Tion to Suffolk? When's that going to happen?
It's an open invite whenever he wants to come.
What sites? What sites are you going to take him to see?
Who came last? I had Dave. Dave came for dinner.
Oh, really?
But like pre-pandemic.
Okay.
But yeah, we just sat in the pub and played music. But I took Stormzy to my local pub, and it was one of those ones where like the locals were like trying to be funny with him, but it just ended up being like, oh no, can you not say that, please?
I imagine your local pub is like, you know, when you go to like LA and they have those sightseeing tours around like celeb houses, like you might see someone very cool here.
That's what I imagine your
well,
pub's like.
I took Taylor there once, but when I took Taylor there, no one really clocked. It was like a week later that the person behind the bar was like, "Did you bring Taylor Swift in here last week?" And I was like, "Yeah."
No way.
No one clocks it at the time. But
So cool.
Yeah.
All right, stop.
Could you just imagine working?
Oh, so interesting with these ISTPs. They are so people perceptive. I don't know that people understand that about them, but in every interview we've watched with him, he has a way of meeting everyone who interviews him where they are. He has a relational point or a point of reference, like a commonality. He finds the commonality in every person that interviews him. And not only does he do that, but now he's sharing about experiences in real life where he understands about the situations that he's in. He's relaying about being in the pub. He was relaying about if we do this, this will go viral. Like he has a really good grasp of people and knows where to meet them where they are. Like you can just tell he's very much laid back and just kind of like, oh, we're going to go like this now. Okay, I'll go with that. Or we're going to go like this now. Okay, I'll go with that. And I've already seen it in several of his interviews even. And I think that is a hallmark of an ISTP male, is that they do fit in many different circles.
Yeah, it's hard to think of an ISTP male being abrasive.
Yes, they're very relational.
Yeah, they get along with everybody, don't they?
Yeah, they have great people skills. Excellent people skills.
Very easygoing.
Right.
My boss is one, and you wouldn't think of him as a leader. He's the boss, but he seems more preoccupied with making the team happy as opposed to being like telling people what to do. You can tell like it doesn't come very naturally to him to tell someone what to do. He'd rather kind of gather everyone around and say, "Oh, let's try this, guys." He's not very forceful, but people think he's great.
Since they type him as ISFJ, when he's an ISTP in reality, the difference between the two is I would say the ISTP uses their SE to give people a good experience, to make them feel like they belong and that they have something to contribute.
Right. Yes.
They use all their functions in this way, of course.
People included.
Right.
And ISFJ feels different. They're very attentive to people, but they're kind of more like a stroke on the head as opposed to like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I don't know.
Well, I think they recognize, because of their people skills, ISTPs recognize what's good in an individual, and then they kind of encourage them to bring that out and to use it because they're trying to build community.
Yeah, I feel like, when I said included, it's like you're included. It's like, hey, you're valued here. What's going on?
Right.
And an ISFJ, they do come across similar in the way they, like their motives and things, yes, but ISFJ is more like about looking after people. That's the way they do it.
Right, where the ISTP is almost going out and rounding them up. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like the guy on the horse. Yeah.
Get to the community.
Yeah, that's right. Well, look at you. You've got this great gift. Come on over here. We need you. Hey, you over there. Oh, look at you with that talent. Come on over here.
Yeah, they're very suave in this way, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're very cool and very mellow, but they're very nice to be around.
Yeah, they're definitely about working with the individual. I kind of think that they would see the world as like you can change the world bit by bit or person by person.
Yes, and this is how they're very intuitive.
Yes.
An ISFP might use their NI in a way of being, more emotionally supportive or doing the right thing or expressing feelings through art. An ISTP has the same kind of thing going on, SE and NI, but in the ways you've previously said, about bringing people up and making them included and being supportive for what they give in terms of value.
To support our project, please comment, like, and subscribe. We want to encourage a dialogue in the comments, so substantiated disagreement is welcome. Check out the playlist for this type and our recommended video below. If there's someone you want us to type, please leave a comment for us. Or you can look into our fast track system to find out how you can get your favorite people typed sooner.